Welcome to Real Combat, everybody, the ultimate movie debate show by movie fans for movie fans. This is season 2, and we're excited to get started. The rules of Real Combat are simple. Both contestants have chosen a movie they think I should watch. They will debate through 4 rounds of different categories to convince me on why I should watch their movie of choice. The contestants with the oldest movie goes first. Round 1 is, why should I watch your movie? Round 2, why shouldn't I watch your opponent's movie? Round 3 is your movie's impact on audiences. And round 4 is personal connections, where the contestants reveal their personal connections to the movies of choice. Let's meet our contestants. Well, guys, thank you again for coming to Real Combat. We appreciate you guys watching. We have 2 great contestants tonight. And the man from Horror with Sir Sturdy Podcast and Popcorn and Pints, my buddy, Sturdy. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
And the Danny Vega show, Mr. Danny himself is here. Danny, I've been trying to get you on the show for a while. I know it's kind of been, we were just talking about it a little bit as well. Thank you for joining in today, man.
I am glad to be here. However, my camera is not glad to be here. So hopefully we can go ahead and I can make my compelling case looking like, I don't know, Scott Adkins or just any type of Russian mafioso guy here just looking at the screen.
Oh, shit.
Don't worry about it. You look great, man. You sound great. That's what's important, and debates are the big thing here. Guys, as you know, this is done in 4 rounds, but there's a new element to season 2 of Real Combat, and that is you can win the round with your argument. I will award one of the contestants the round. They will get a point. Whoever has the most points at the end of the show can use that to do a rematch next season if they want to. But to get started, we have to introduce the movies. And Danny, I'm going to start with you. What is your movie of choice for this episode?
Oh, here we go. So this movie has changed the game for action movies for a while, to the point that it is incredible for people that are not action enthusiasts, and that is The Raid 2.
Oh my God.
Wow, very nice. Very nice. I like it.
I
right.
love it.
You see, I won. He said he loves it. Done.
I didn't
All
come
right. Sturdy, what is your movie of choice?
The Greasy Strangler.
Oh,
Horror comedy. You know my sick sense of humor. There's a lot of it in this movie. I had to. And I wanted to pick something I never seen. Like, I only watched one time, but I was like, you know what? I'm in a pinch. Time to get greasy.
All right. So, Danny, your movie is the older movie that has been chosen today, The Raid 2. Right. So you get to go first. First round, of course. Why should I watch your movie?
We just said it. It's one of the action movies that changed the game. It changed the formula of action movies. This old school kung fu movies were the shit back in the day. Even though as cheesy as the lines and they would jump, yeah, it was incredible. Then it changed. Like during the 90s and the 2000s, it started to change. Then it was less martial arts and more into just straight up guns, explosions, etc. Until about The Matrix. The Matrix reintroduced like, hey, martial arts are great. As soon as The Raid, the first one, came out, it was like Bruce Lee's Game of Death, but on steroids. It had the different levels. And then you were like, holy shit. The fight scene between Mad Dog and the 2 brothers at the end, you're like, there's no way they could top it with a sequel. And sure enough, the sequel comes out. And in the beginning opening scene, you're just like, I'm in. This is just all in. The fight scenes are super incredible. It influenced a lot of movies. I know that's a different round, but to the point that the film style of martial arts movies changed. And then you saw with the action movies now for the martial arts film styles, including like John Wick, etc., have changed all because of these 2 movies, especially the second one. Has action-packed, different martial arts styles in general too. It's Indonesian style martial arts, which is incredible. a lot of Salat in it. And the weapons, the characters were absolutely original, incredible, intriguing, especially Hammer Girl and Bat Boy. And it's just to the point that, like I said earlier, people that do not watch action movies, people that are not martial arts enthusiasts, is like either yes, I've seen it, or yes, I have heard of that movie and I have to see it.
All right, that's a great argument, Danny. Thank you. It's hard. It's hard to argue. Like, that's true. I mean, it really did change things as of late. But you know, we got what someone would call maybe a current cult classic in The Greasy Strangler, and I want to hear, Sturdy, why should I watch your movie?
Well, James, I called you James. Mick, here it is. First of all, the title alone had me intrigued. Like, I reviewed this on my podcast. Someone was like, you guys should check this movie out. And there's a lot of dicks in it, which is just hilarious. It's just one of those movies where you literally turn your brain off. Maybe you go to the kitchen, you get the coffee pan out, the coffee pot out, the Folgers, the tin ones. You get that bacon grease, rub it all over your body, get greasy, and you watch this fucking ridiculous movie. And it's just a horror comedy. Does it make sense? Absolutely not. Does it need to? Absolutely not. And I'm actually coming on here, Mick, with a movie that I actually enjoyed. Last time I was on here, I came on with a movie that I freaking loathed. This one, I freaking love it. It's one to where, like, you might not want to watch it with your wife because she's probably going to judge you. Mine, I know she would say 2 minutes and she's going to leave the room, if that. It's a freaking father and son after one chick at one point. They both fuck her, not at the same time. But it's just, it makes no sense. The father is friends with a blind black guy who owns a car wash, right? And the old dude, he'll go in there when he's all greased up after doing a murder and just walk through the car wash to wash himself, and then just walk down, sitting with the blind dude naked, walking around or sitting by him, just talking for whatever about whatever. It's just one of those movies where this is a movie, once you watch it, you're not going to forget you've seen it. You will not forget you've seen this movie. You're going to be like, what the fuck? What the fuck? This movie was so ridiculously hilarious. I watched it. I'm glad I watched it. I'm never going to forget this movie. Like, as soon as you hear someone mention The Greasy Strangler, you're just going to, yeah, I remember this shit. And I'm just going to keep my argument simple with that one because I love The Raid 2 as well. I'm not even going to lie. Like, I do.
I'll tell you, when you came on last year, with Blood Lake, and your whole selling point was like, it's the worst movie I've ever seen. You should watch it.
Yeah, I was being honest though, because like with that one, I was like, I know people usually go on here with really good movies. I was like, I gotta be different with this one, and I think I recently did a review on it for the second time, unfortunately. And I was like, fuck this. If I gotta watch it, Mick has to watch this shit. He has to.
Well, you're throwing me for a loop with The Greasy Strangler, but I like your argument. I like both your arguments. I'm gonna have to award this round to Danny.
I agree.
You both put up good arguments. I really appreciate it. I think the whole Dix and father and son situation might have put it in Danny's favor a little bit, because I am more prone to watching martial arts.
I'll get you to watch this movie one way or another, Mick. I know that.
Oh, wait, he hasn't won. He won a round. He hasn't won.
I'm just saying. But no.
There's still 3 rounds to go. We're getting into round 2 now. Of course, that is, why shouldn't I watch your opponent's movie? And because Danny went first last time, it is your floor, Aaron.
How am I going to argue against the movie I love? You've seen it before. You always like watching newer things. Let me rephrase it. You like watching movies that are new to you, not necessarily new that came out this year, but new to you. It's a different experience, and honestly, that's all I got. Because The Raid 2 is just fucking amazing. I'm not gonna lie, I can't bash the movie. It's actually, I'm on record on a podcast I was on saying that The Raid 1 and 2 are my favorite action movies of all time. Just because the fighting in it, I love the hand-to-hand combat in it. And I'll make an argument for this, but I don't care. The hand-to-hand combat, and then I love like the weapons they use. They're not using guns. I was always into that. And here's a quick one, because you weren't on the show with us last night, Dan. So the movie I was originally going to use was The Last Dragon.
Oh,
Love that
nice.
fucking movie. I love that movie, but Mick was on with us last night, so I was like, that's not really going to be fair. So I went to
And that would have won hands down because that's a 10. I gave that a 10 out of 10.
Yes,
I love the
that's probably my favorite martial arts movie for different reasons. Not necessarily because the fighting in it was cool, but the raid fighting was just on another level.
I love it though. This is a fun one.
Oh no. There we go.
Dan, tell me, why shouldn't I watch your opponent's movie?
Mick, you said it. Dicks and dads.
Well, it's not dicks in dads, so
Dicks and dads. Dads and dicks. I mean, I watched Jackass 4 and the beginning scene was a dick, and I was like, I'm out.
gosh.
It was funny. That was the only funny one, but then there were more dicks, and I was like, I'm out. I'm good. Here's the deal. If you want to watch a stupid, funny comedy that is horror, you should watch Dead Don't Die with Bill Murray. That was super stupid, but super dry Bill Murray humor with Adam Driver. Incredible. No dick, no dads, just stupid comedy horror that made no sense, by the way. So if you want a movie that makes no sense, that's horror, that's stupid funny, no dicks, no dads, Dead Don't Die.
This one you remember.
Greasy Strangler.
This is the weirdest round 2 I've ever had on this show because one of you is arguing for your opponent's movie and the other one's arguing for a movie that's not even slated on here.
Yep. Well, I'm just trying to save you from dicks and dads, Mick.
I'm not.
I'm just trying to save you, brother. You want to see a similar movie, but that doesn't have all that. There you go.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's similar though. This is some wild shit and hilarious at that. Here's my one thing I will say as far as watching the Greasy Strangler. The people who told me to watch this was 2 women that love this movie.
Because there's a lot of dicks and dads.
Yeah, a lot of dicks and dads.
I don't think they're attracted to the old dude that was all greased up. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Maybe that's their grandpa. You didn't know that, but that was their grandpa. They're supporting their grandpa right now. And you're like, hey, go watch this movie.
Listen, if my grandfather or my father was in a movie, their dick is out. I'm just going to act like that movie. You want to see this one? No.
Nah, that's one I'll skip. All right. Well, you know what? This was an interesting round 2 for this show.
I love it.
And I dug it. I'm going. I don't know how many percent that's the award for. I'm going to give this one to Sturdy, and here's why. Because Sturdy's argument was unconventional. Because normally you get them on here and they're going after the other movie in round 2. Sturdy's like, I love this movie. No, you got to watch it. So
I can't bash it.
Psychologically messing with me with his arguments. So I'm going to award round 2 to you, Sturdy.
Okay.
But before we go on to round 3, I want you guys to talk about your shows, talk about where people can follow you and what's going on. I'm going to start with you, Danny. Let me take us off.
All right. Hopefully, like I said, with this lag, geez. So my name is Danny V. Also, I'm part of the Danny Vega show, and this is my show. I review and rant about movies and TV shows of all kind. Jack of all trade, master of none, but oftentimes better off as the master of one, which is the real quote. And that's what I do, man. It's everything that's a part of my life. So besides films and movies, I have my own films and movies on there and my endeavors. So come check it out. It's pretty awesome. Whether you agree with me or not, it's all up to you. But whichever way, like and subscribe, or thumbs down and subscribe. It's all good. Come, and we would love to have you.
I love it. All right, Sturdy, it is your turn, sir.
So I'll tell you guys the show that Mick was on with us last night. It's called Popcorn and Pints. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter. It's Popcorn Pints. And with that show, we review 2 movies and try to figure out how these 2 movies connect. Last night was Karate Kid and The Last Dragon. That's pretty easy to connect those two films. And then I have my own solo show called Horror with Search 30, which there's a QR code there and there. You can get all of my stuff. Or it brings you right to my website, which is horrorwithsearch30.com. You can get all my links and all that great stuff. And on that, live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Review one movie at a time, sometimes two. I also do watch parties and all kinds of stuff. Just hit the QR code or go to horrorsearch30.com and also check out Popcorn and Pints. You're going to have a good time. And
all right, guys, thank you so much. Guys, check out their shows. Make sure you're following them. We're going to have all the links down in the description below, so please go check it out there. I will tell you guys this. We're getting into the final 2 rounds. This next one is going to be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's slightly in favor of Danny's movie, I think, because you picked the cult classic, Stirred. So we're going to start with Danny on this one. What was your movie's impact on its audiences?
All right, here we go. I held back on the first round for this one. All right, so there are a couple of things that The Raid 1 and 2 definitely impacted just action movies in general. You would not have John Wick without The Raid 2. You wouldn't have Nobody without The Raid 2. You wouldn't have all these awesome action films, their film styles, without The Raid 1 and 2. To the point that John Wick had some of the people from The Raid in their movies, which one of my buddies stunt double, by the way.
awesome.
It's absolutely incredible that you had this guy, this director, go ahead and film it handheld, by the way, for majority of the movie, majority of the fight scenes, to the point that the scene in The Raid 2, when they're going in between the cars, like inside and outside and all that, they're passing the camera around to each person. They had a cage built onto the car with people lying in different positions to handheld pass the camera for those certain angles that you can't do with a jib, that you can barely do with a small, drone. It was just incredible. Not only that, the blood wasn't CG. It was real blood, fake blood, I should say, that they use in film. But how they did it was they did not squibs, but condoms. And they pulled the condom to pop every time they sliced somebody or they shot somebody or anything else. So that's why it looked extra gory, extra realistic. And you're just like, how the hell did they do that? Especially in The Raid 2 in the last fight scene. The last fight scene between the main characters when they went against the assassin with the karambit. Everyone's like, how the hell did they do with all that blood and the blood is splattering on them, etc.? And they did it in that way. This guy just way thought out of the box, which impacted how we have to think for action movies, not only as an audience, but also as filmmakers itself. So it went deeper than the audience. So now it's, wait, how can we go and make a better film than that? Like you guys were saying, Raid 1 and 2 is probably one of the best, if not the best, action fight sequences that have influenced all martial arts movies and all action movies to this day. And it doesn't suck like how some movies do now. So, but yeah, like I said, it influenced and impacted to the point that people that don't watch action movies, like people that I know for a fact that are in entertainment, they're more of musical people or drama people and stuff. They have heard of The Raid or they even saw The Raid. And they're like, because a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend recommended it to me and I had to watch it.
All right. Well, I mean, that's a hell of an argument. And that's a hell of an impact. So, Sturdy, what is your movie's impact on its audiences?
Besides the crazy ass shit, honestly, this is one of those movies where it's like you go to a horror convention, someone's like, have you seen The Greasy Strangler? And if they say yes, you're gonna get that group that says yes, and you're all gonna be discussing it. But if you're someone who's like an earshot away, I gotta go fucking check this movie out. You'll go check it out and you'll be at the con the next day. It hasn't happened with this movie, it's happened with others, where the next day you're talking about that movie with that same group of people and maybe adding a few others in. And that honestly, that's probably the biggest impact for me for that type. But it's more of like a personal one where it's like us hanging out talking like, yo, have you seen this? No, go watch it. Not saying the raid can't be like that, but just thinking horror con wise. And as far as actually, I'll use another movie really quick for example, Thanksgiving, another movie I fucking love. I made a good friend off of just have you seen Thanksgiving before? And that conversation started from that to a bunch of other crazy ass movies. And he actually seen this crazy ass movie too, but that's besides the point. And it's just one of those ones that you won't forget. You won't, just because of how crazy, how silly, how ridiculous it is. You're gonna be like, yeah, I've seen it before. And I mean, you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. I don't think that this is one of those movies you're gonna love or hate. There's no in between. Like, yeah, it was okay. There's no room for that with this. It's like, oh fuck, what Aaron, what the fuck? Or you know what? I did enjoy that. And that's my argument for that one. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. It's not as impactful, as beautiful as fucking the fucking action was just amazing in the Raid 2. Again, I love that fucking movie. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. The Raid 2 was amazing.
That was a great argument, man. I like what you're saying, like, because that's the spirit of independent films and kind of how you network with them, and like it's where a lot of it's word of mouth and what helps build. So I do. I've always appreciated that. And that's why I think I'm going to give you the round on that one. Because yes, the Raid 2 has a bigger impact on it in a whole. But I do love that independent spirit of the impact. So I think it's 2-1 right now. Who has 2 points? It's Sturdy, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going into round 4. Might split it, and then we'll see what happens. Round 4, of course, is personal connections to the movie. Just stick to your movies. Don't worry about each other's. I want to hear your personal connections to them. And I'm going to start with Sturdy this round. Go ahead.
Personal connections with the movie. Honestly, just like I said, I reviewed it earlier. I reviewed it on my podcast earlier this year. And it's just one of those films that I'll just hit people like, yo, you got to check this movie out. You have to watch it. I told my brother to watch it. I was like, listen, don't watch this shit with my nephews at all. Do not let my nephew watch this shit. And just watch it's a turn your brain off. If you're someone who smokes, get high and watch this movie. You're going to have a great time with it. Either way, you're going to have a fun time with it. You're going to laugh. And you're either going to call me up saying, fuck you for making me watch this shit, but it was funny. Or thank you. And I'm cool with either one. Because I'm like, ha, I made you watch it. Or you're welcome. And that's my argument. Just a simple,
fair argument
with it.
Danny, what's your personal connection to the Raid 2?
So, personal connection, which is funny because the Raid 1 and 2 technically were independent films because they didn't blow up until after and word of mouth. And that's why, and when the Raid 2 came out in theaters, even though it was still on small time, it did very, very well. As an indie filmmaker, that, like I told you in the earlier rounds, that changed the game for how I need to make action films, how I need to, create this visual appealing and also think outside of the box for film. Not only that, I've been a martial artist since I was a kid. So I've seen Last Dragon and Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan and everything else. And to see something on that caliber change the game as a martial artist made me and all my martial arts friends goes, we need to fucking train, dude. Like we need to get on that level. And for us that we created our own indie films and also martial arts films, we're like, dude, we got to do something to top that. We got to do something similar to that. We just have to go. And that's the personal connection with us, because the martial arts community, if you watch martial arts movies, a lot of people don't know about like old school Jackie Chan movies unless you're into that, unless you're, in that community. And then to have something like that impact even bigger audiences and stuff like that showed that no matter what, how small that you create something, it could blow up into something big. A friend of mine always says it's only one phone call away, and so that's the personal connection that I have to that movie, because it just shows that any independent filmmaker could hit a home run, not once, but twice. So, that's what it means to me.
All right. I mean, listen, it's a fantastic argument, and I'm going to award you this round. So it's 2-2. We'll split the difference. We might have to go back to a rematch at some point, but you guys did a good job with it. Now is the time for me to choose what I watched tonight, and it's kind of a tough one. But I'm going to have to go with The Raid 2.
Excellent choice.
I just, I think it's with all the arguments that have come in, the action, and I think, Sturdy, I really think this part is your fault a little bit, because you had me on last night. We were talking martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like in a martial arts state of mind,
I'm not mad at that though, because that's such a great movie. And like I was telling you, say you weren't on the pod last night, I was gonna use The Last Dragon, and then I have way more personal connection with The Last Dragon than The Greasy Strangler. But
it would have been so funny to put those together. But if you had chosen The Last Dragon, you would have been the winner, probably before we even started. Because
I agree with that. I would have been like, show enough. That's it.
Yeah.
Because they're both great movies, but I love The Last Dragon so much.
Yeah.
And just the music alone will keep me going.
Oh.
But I want to congratulate both of you for being a part of this and joining it. Not congratulate. I want to thank you both for being a part of this. And congratulate Danny on your win today.
Oh, hell yeah.
Thank you for being on today.
Of course.
Thank you. And Mick, I'm telling you, watch the behind the scenes. That's what changes the game for real. If you see how this guy, he created, so usually when you have a cage for your camera, right? He did it out of a steering wheel, dude. And so to get that upside down shot that they do sometimes, like when someone crashes through the window and they fall upside down or whatever, he uses that because he has that steering wheel. So all he does is just turn the steering wheel like that, holds the camera without shaking it and without, it going all over the place. That's how he gets that 180 turn, dude. This guy,
awesome.
Yeah, man, this guy really thought out of the box when filming these films, dude. And I'm telling you, that will make you appreciate it that much more when you watch the behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I do like Gareth Evans, sorry, who made these, and he's done some fun stuff. And yeah, I do need to watch the behind the scenes as well. I am going to check out The Greasy Strangler as well. I always tended to get to both of them, but I do want to see both and see what you guys see when I watch them. But thank you guys again. I appreciate being on Real Combat, guys. Go check out their shows. All the links are down below. Thank you for watching Real Combat. This is season 2. We're back again. We're bigger, we're better, and it's going down. So make sure to keep watching each week. We're going to have some great lineups this season. All right, everybody. Stay tuned for the credits, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.
Peace.
Peace out, people.
And of course, we're going to have our new Friday morning show starting October 7th, our anniversary week, the Scene Snobs Morning Drive live show. You can enjoy us every Friday morning. We want to take the time out to say thank you so much to our wonderful patrons who support us and help keep the lights on. You guys are amazing. We love you. Tim, Paul, Stacy, Matt, Aaron, Chris S., and Chris H.
As always, big salutations and appreciations to Dan, John B., Ron, Jason, AJ, Radar, and John W.
We have 3 tiers available with plenty of perks and a lot of fun stuff. Make sure to join up at patreon.com/thescenesnobs. Of course, Snobs Nation Discord is open, and you can join in the fun conversations there with great moderators, great people. The whole nation's there, and it's wonderful. The Snobs Nation, not the whole nation.
No. I mean, the important part of the nation, the Snobs Nation.
Sooner or later, everybody will join in. It'll just be crazy, but it'll be fun. So make sure you join in there.
It's a nation of love, and it doesn't know borders. It's the Snobs Nation.
That's true. I love it. Make sure to hit like on this video on YouTube if you're watching or anywhere you're watching it. And then head over and subscribe to our YouTube channel because we have great shows over there like Scene Snobs Reviews. Real Combat Season 2 is coming back in October. Plot Roast, Geek Fest Live. We, of course, have the Morning Drive live show. We also have Does It Suck, which is coming out, and more, and plenty of special events that are going to be coming.
All over the place. We're loaded up. And you can also help support us by grabbing some merch. Go ahead and sport some of your favorite stuff. You want to head into the office knowing confidently that you'll be able to tell people what the strongest ship in the fleet is, grab one of those mugs off of our merch store, which you can find at Linktree, with all of our other great places to connect.
Make sure to follow us on all of our social media at the Scene Snobs or at the Scene Snob on TikTok, because it won't let me change it. But there you go. Before we
Save
get
off the
going,
last S for savings.
all right, everybody, take care, stay tuned, and stay geeky.